Okay, today we're going to talk about growth, and it's very, very important that you take some of this lesson and you experiment with this stuff. Okay, because growth is very important. You can't get to the next level without growth, right? And everybody has this inborn desire to grow. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you: you cannot expand. You cannot expand if you're contracting. Now, I know some of you are saying, "Oh, come on, Mike. Of course you can't expand if you're contracting." What kind of a statement is that, right? But here's what I'm going to tell you. And we're going to go through this together, and I want you to just follow along with me. Just follow along, because you're going to see something that may be the missing link to why you haven't grown as much as you want to grow, right? And here's the key, okay? First of all, play along with me. All right, take your left hand, put it to where you can see it, and I want you to take your index finger and your thumb and just kind of touch them together, and I'm going to assign something to that index finger. We're going to assign the word worry. You're worried, right? Something is pressing your mind. You're worried. We're going to take the middle finger and we're going to tap the thumb there, and we're going to assign the word fear to the middle finger. Okay? So we got worry in the index finger, we got fear in the middle finger, and we're going to take the ring finger and we're going to assign the word limitation. All right? Very important that we understand that these three are linked together. Okay, and you know, I've studied martial arts all my life, and or most of my life at least, and there's a strong relationship between mind, body, and spirit. A lot of times we kind of don't focus on those things, right? Some people think it's a little mystical and, you know, out there and stuff like that, but I firmly believe that there's a strong link between mind, body, and spirit, right? And these three things are part of those links. Now look at this. Worry is a mental activity, okay? Worry says that you're focusing on limited options, that you're focusing on scarcity, that you're focusing on not having the right solutions, right? So you're worried about, that's what worry is, right? And worry is a mental activity. That's the mind part of it, right? Now that worry leads us to fear, and fear now, big problem, right? Fear is a problem, guys, because fear limits you. Fear takes options away. Fear immobilizes. Fear shrinks. Fear contracts. So you start with the worry, and that's the mental activity, but now fear becomes a physical sensation, right? Haven't you heard that expression? Or maybe even you might have even said it, right? I got this gut feeling, right? Gut feeling. And think about that. Think about the last time you had fear in your body, because that's what it is. Fear is something that's in your body. It's a sensation. It's a feeling in your body. It comes around the center of your body, right? Around the gut area, right? You remember going to the amusement park and you're about to get on the roller coaster, you get that feeling, right? Or something big happens, you get that feeling in your gut. That's a feeling. So that's the body part of it. So you got the mind worrying, and then it transforms into a physical feeling which incorporates the body, right? And what happens there? Once the mind starts attacking and influencing the body, and the body becomes fearful, you now create limitations. You create limitations for your spirit. You create a way for you to stop, right? For you to end, for you to curl up and turtle up, right? It's like a turtle going into a shell, right? And it's interesting about the spirit and limitations, you know, because I don't know if you've ever gone to a gym, right? You ever go into a gym and you go by to yourself and you get on the treadmill, or maybe you you start picking up some weights, or get on the cycle, the bike or something, right? And you're doing your routine, and all of a sudden you just, like, your spirit says, that's enough. I can't take it anymore. I can't go another one, right? And you quit, you stop, you go on to the next exercise, right? And maybe inside your head you knew you could have gone a little bit more, but you didn't, right? But think about if you had a coach, if you had a trainer, even if you had a friend, right? You had a friend, and your friend is, is pushing you along, or the trainer saying, come on, 5 more, you need 5 more minutes, come on, 5 minutes to do this, right? You find a way to re-energize your spirit, and your spirit goes on, right? That's what I'm talking about as far as the limitations, because limitations is, I believe, a spiritual thing, and it's brought on by worry. Then worry brings on the fear, and fear brings on the limitation. So what I want you to do with your left hand, knowing that we got those 3 fingers designated to those situations, right? We got worry, we got fear, we got limitations. I want you to curl a fist up, right? And I want you to realize, I want you to come to the awareness that those 3 things create resistance. They create this contraction, right? They curl you up, they immobilize you. And that is what I'm talking about, where you cannot expand while you are contracted. You cannot expand and reach and grow when you are contracted like that. Now I want you to take that fist, that left fist, and put it behind you, because that is where it belongs. It needs to be left behind. Worry, fear, and limitation needs to be left behind. Now I want you to take your right hand, right? And your right index finger, I want you to assign seeking opportunity. How about that? Huh? About seeking opportunity as opposed to worry. Seeking opportunity is the polar opposite of worry. When you are worried, you're not looking for opportunity. When you're worried, you're seeing limited success, or limited possibilities, or limited options. When you are seeking opportunity, you open that up. That's how you expand. Seeking opportunity is the key to expansion and growth, right? And that's the mental aspect of that. Same thing as worry. Worry is a mental activity. Seeking opportunity is also a mental activity. It's the polar opposite of the mental activity. Now, in your middle finger, I want you to assign, the middle finger of the right hand, I want you to assign the word love. Now, if you remember, left hand, middle finger, we had fear, right? Now, we're going to assign love to the middle finger. And that is the polar opposite, right? And I'll tell you what, when you're seeking opportunity, what you're gonna find is that you're gonna be attracted to things that you love. You're gonna be attracted to that feeling. That feeling of love is almost like the fear feeling, right? You get that around the center of your body. That's a physical feeling, just like fear is, right? But it's a physical feeling that's the polar opposite of fear, right? But think about it. When you are feeling love towards your mate, here's your spouse, where do you get that, right? Isn't that somewhere around the chest area, around the heart area, right? You get this feeling that radiates out there. And that is very, very important, because now we have the same thing. We have the connection of the mind and the body so far, right? But we're doing it as a polar opposite of what we left behind. Worry, fear, limitation. Now, the ring finger for the right hand is going to be unlimited, an unlimited spirit. Think about that. Think about how powerful your life would be, how much growth you could create in your life if you were going out there and your thinking was about seeking opportunity. you were feeling love as opposed to feeling fear, and your spirit was unlimited. Think about what would happen to your life, how much growth you can experience, right? Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. These two situations, all right, or these two polar opposites are controlled by you. Now, there's two forms of input here. You have your own input, those thoughts that you're creating in your head, and you have the input from the outside world that you allow into your head, right? So you put on CNN, let's say, constantly negative news, right? And and what happens? Within a few minutes, you're worrying about something. Within a few minutes more, you've got a feeling of fear in your body. Within a few minutes more, you're creating limitations in your head and in your spirit and in your body. That's what this connection is all about, guys. And that's what that statement that I said, which we all thought was a ridiculous statement. Of course, you can't expand if you're contracting. Of course not. Yeah, of course not. So how much time are you on a daily basis, how much time are you giving to worry, fear, and limitation? Because that's contracting you. And you cannot expand if you are contracting, right? What would happen to your life if instead, the second you noticed, the second you became aware that you were going through a fear situation, what would happen if you would go out there and immediately went out there and turned that into, you know what, I'm not going to fear this, I'm going to seek an opportunity, I'm going to turn that lemon into lemonade, I'm going to find the benefit of the seed of a benefit inside this problem so I can turn this around. But if you started seeking opportunity instead of worrying? What if you felt love instead of fear? Think about how powerful that would be. Think about the things you would be able to attract to your life if you started to think that way, right? If you started to feel love, if you started to radiate love as opposed to radiating fear. Guess what? Fear is attracting bad things to you. Love is going to attract great things to you, right? So that is where this connection is going, guys. Right? You cannot expand if you are contracting. So you take those things in your left hand and you put it behind you. That's going to be left behind. You look at your right hand. That's the right things that you need to be doing, right? Those are the right things you need to be doing, because guess what? When you're seeking opportunity and you're feeling love and you create an unlimited spirit, think about what you can create in your life. Think about the expansion that you can create in your life, the growth that you can create. You cannot create that growth with worry, fear, and limitation, right? So you need to be conscious. You need to be aware. You need to see where it is that you are allowing outside influence or internal influence to create these situations of worry, fear, and limitations. Do not fall into the trap of hearing these naysayers that say you cannot do something. Don't let somebody create a situation or the mental attitude of worry in your mind, because that's just going to lead to fear and limitation. No, instead you need to consciously turn that around, turn that fear into love, turn that worry into seeking opportunity, turn that limitation into having a spirit of unlimited spirit, right? That is the key. This is the thing, guys. You know what? I don't I don't want you to take my word for anything. I want you to test it out for yourself. The next 90 days, 90 days, that's a long time. But let me tell you something. You run this strategy for 90 days, you are going to improve your life at at an incredible level, right? Yeah, people won't be able to recognize you after, you run this for 90 days, guys. You're going to grow so much, it's going to shock you. That's what happens when you put away, when you leave behind worry, fear, and limitation, and you start instead seeking opportunity, feeling love, and having an unlimited spirit. That's what it's all about. So, maybe that statement wasn't so crazy, right? You cannot expand if you're contracting. It's not so crazy, because you know what? A lot of times we're doing this unconsciously and we don't even know, but we're spending much more time in the day worrying, having fear, and creating limitations, where we need to leave all of that behind and go out there and start this process of being, seeking opportunity, feeling love, and becoming unlimited. I challenge you. My name is Mike Martinez. Step up to the challenge. Take it, turn it around. Look at your left and your right hand. Know what you need to leave behind, and know what's right. Mike Martinez. Just do it.